got some more Joe Budden news. Apparently, Joe Budden took to social media and air out his grievances. He went into rant mode, talking about this, that, and the third, yada, 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 woo, woo, woo. You can go check out his story for yourself. But the main talking points, the key points in his story, he talked about how he's losing money, he's getting sued, and he lost 3 of his best friends during this process. He never named the 3 friends. Is it Rory, Mal, and Olivia Dope? I don't think he really considered them as friends, more so as business partners. So, yeah, I don't know what 3 friends he's talking about. And before we get into today's video, I first like to tell you guys this. I've been pretty consistent about Joe Budden. I think Joe Budden is a phenomenal talent. He knows the talking points. Everyone gravitates to Joe Budden to basically hear what Joe Budden's going to say next about issues surrounding the hip-hop industry, just entertainment in general, okay? Joe Budden is the source, okay? And everybody likes to gravitate to the source. However, when it comes to Joe Budden making the right business moves and opportunities, he crashed and burned. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. I've been documenting this on several videos about Joe Budden's business mindset. Ebro in the Morning even illustrated this. And I felt like he was watching one of my videos as he talked about he hired way too many staff members to do the Joe Budden podcast. He overpaid way too many staff members to, continue doing the Joe Budden show. And when it comes to business deals and sponsorships, he crashes and burns a lot of the deals he creates and make, okay, with his brand and his name alone. Case in point, when he had the Complex deal, he started looking into the numbers of how much, particularly Complex numbers on how much money they were making off of Everyday Struggle versus how much money Joe Budden and DJ Academics was making. And he exit stage left from that deal, and he jumped onto Spotify. Okay, Spotify gave him an exclusive deal, and when he started going deep into the numbers, finding out how much Spotify is making off of Joe Budden versus how much Joe Budden is making off of this Spotify deal, he exit stage left from that deal. And I told you guys, and this has been documented, you can go check out my videos. I felt like that was the beginning of the end of the Joe Budden show, or the Joe Budden podcast, because Rory and Mal kind of saw it for themselves. The guy's a phenomenal talent. He knows what he's saying. Everyone gravitates to him. But when it comes to his business decisions or his business mindset, he just simply crashes and burns, okay? And that's why Rory and Mal had issues with Joe Budden. Yes, the contract played a key point, particularly when they wanted to look at the numbers of what Joe Budden is actually making on the Joe Budden network. There was some conflict of interest between Rory and Mal and Joe Budden. Joe Budden is saying they got the numbers that they needed, or the data they needed, and Rory and Mal saying that they did not get the data that they needed. They got a spreadsheet. Then you talked about talking points, particularly on a lot of live streams. Rory and Mal has said this, as well as Joe Budden said this. Rory and Mal believe that they get a portion of the company, and they get a portion of the revenue of the Joe Budden network or podcast. And you kept hearing keywords such as gross and net. Okay, so I'm not even going to go all off into that. You can go check out those videos. I pretty much told you guys why those guys fell off, and also gave you my opinion on why you shouldn't do business with your friends or your family. A lot of people are still in the comment section talking about you can do business with your friends and family. Okay, whatever. But the point of the matter is Joe Budden is terrible at keeping his contract obligations, particularly when he's doing sponsorship deals as well as, contracts with networks or like companies. And Joe Budden has been terrible about that, and it's been well documented. And Joe Budden is hemorrhaging money. Now, a lot of people say the reason why he's hemorrhaging money is because of his low views on YouTube, how he did Rory and Mal wrong. And I also told you guys, and I have documented this on several videos, the Joe Budden Network has been hemorrhaging money a lot longer than that, okay? When it was closer to the end of the Spotify deal, you started seeing the Joe Budden Network not making as much revenue, okay, as they used to the year before or the year after that. So when you're not making a lot of revenue and you're making these ridiculous business proposals, oversigning staff members, having too many staff members, okay, and you got the storm of the brewing with Rory and Mal, the Olivia Dope situation, and you're already struggling when it comes to money and revenue. You're not making the same type of revenue you was making 2 or 3 years ago because you don't have Spotify's backing. Okay? When life was good, when everybody wanted to run it up with Joe Budden, they wanted to collaborate with Joe Budden. When Joe Budden was on the top of the mountain, he had pretty much the whole entertainment network at his disposal, okay? When everyone wanted to collaborate with Joe Budden, Revolt wanted to collaborate with Joe Budden, there was, there were rumors about other entertainment networks wanting to collaborate with Joe Budden, but over the course of time, Joe Budden's name isn't the same like it was 3 or 4 years ago. On top of that, he's not making the money that he used to make, all right? And he's losing sponsorship deals left to right, and he's hemorrhaging money, all right? They've been hemorrhaging money for a long period of time. They was hemorrhaging money, when Rory and Mal was there. Because Joe Budden, when he's the only person to make decisions, particularly with the Joe Budden IP, and Rory and Mal either A, don't have contract obligations to do business for the Joe Budden IP, okay, or they do, but Joe Budden is a strong enough voice and a strong enough face to override any thing that Rory and Mal could recommend or do for the Joe Budden IP. Either or, it's still Joe Budden's decision. Even if Rory and Mal had control or didn't have control when it comes to business opportunities and business obligations. All right. Plus, on the fact, Rory and Mal is not that savvy in business. In my humble opinion, I don't think they're very knowledgeable about business as well. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they got the deal with Kevin Durant's media group, 35 and Venture. I think that's a plus. I think that's a start. I think that's a beginning. But with this small sample size of Rory and Mal's podcast, I know a lot of people are gravitating to the point that Rory and Mal are making better numbers than Joe Budden, particularly on YouTube. And I told you guys, I feel like everybody is gravitating more to Rory and Mal because everyone's feeling like they were right in the breakup between Joe Budden and Rory and Mal. And like I always tell you guys, viewers have no allegiance. And now you're hot today, you're not going to be hot tomorrow, okay? Let's just see 6 months down the road and take a temperature test and see if Rory and Mal still have those same numbers. I do enjoy some of their shows, okay? But at the same time, I think the real reason why people are gravitating to him more because a lot of people have a disdain for Joe Budden because Joe Budden is radioactive right now, okay? The Olivia Dope situation did not help Joe Budden, okay? On top of that, his business practices, his decisions in business, that's not helping Joe Budden either. If Joe Budden is listening to this video, maybe Joe Budden, maybe you want to get someone that's knowledgeable about business. Maybe let your agency take over on those matters, and you just take the back seat and let them, because Joe Budden should have more sponsorship deals and business deals than what he has today. All right. He doesn't have any. And the reason why he's losing partnership deals, sponsorship deals left to right, right now, is the Olivia Dope accusations, as well as the fallout with Rory and Mal. That did not paint Joe Budden in the best light. Okay. And he's going to have to get past that. All right. And a lot of people are going to still hammer that home. I also told you guys, a lot of people were talking about, they're making so much money on YouTube. They're making so much money on YouTube. If YouTube money was that good, even on the height of the Joe Budden podcast, even with Rory and Mal, they was making crazy tons of views, okay? But at the end of the day, you can't really make a living off of YouTube money. It's a good starter up money. It's good money to add on top of the other money that you're getting, okay? But it's not the end all and be all, okay? You don't have to take my word for it. A lot of successful YouTube content creators, influencers, okay? That's why they have other bags, okay? That's why they have sponsorship deals. That's why they have exclusive deals, partnership deals. That's why they're good on their other social media handles, okay? And they do money over there as well. It's YouTube money is great when you stack it up with all the other money that you're making across the board, but just only depending on YouTube money is not the end all and be all, okay? You don't have to take my word for it. You can just Google that for yourself. And that's pretty much, as of right now, today, Joe Budden is, getting right now. He's basically getting YouTube money and Patreon money. And that's another reason why the scheduling change with Joe Budden show is showing less and less on YouTube, and basically showing more on his Patreon. Okay. If you look at the new schedule about how Joe Budden podcast is going to be seen on YouTube, it's the third option. Okay. iTunes and Spotify, they get it before YouTube. Patreon gets it first before anywhere else. Joe Budden has an audience on his Patreon that he has to constantly give them of content in order for them to constantly, support the Patreon. All right. And we all know how Joe Budden feels, his comments about Patreon, particularly when Andrew Schultz was talking about how he's living his best life on his Patreon. And Joe Budden made comments about that, this, that, and the third. And it's amazing how Joe Budden was so against Patreon years ago. Now he's utilizing Patreon. Crazy how that works. Okay. So, if people are going to continue to support him on Patreon, he has to have the content for people to continue to support Patreon. All right. So yes, that, I know a lot of people don't think that's a good business move. And a lot of these people won't, let's just go on, just call it what it is. A lot of you guys want your content free. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I would love to have free content. Okay. And a lot of people are opposed of paying for something. All right. But there's certain content that we tolerate, that we say, okay, we can't get this for free. We're going to have to pay for it. All right. But there's other content that we have more of an issue with, that we feel like, you know what, I think I could get that for free. I really don't want to, pay for it to be the first one to view it or watch it. I kind of just want to wait and get it for free. And a lot of people that are, critiquing or criticizing that move are people that wants it for free. If Joe Budden put his Joe Budden episodes on YouTube first, you wouldn't have a huge uproar about Joe Budden's decisions on his scheduling, allowing the bulk of his content to premiere on Patreon. You won't have an issue with it, okay? So, yeah, Joe Budden has to please the masses on Patreon, and he has to put that content on that platform first before he entertain putting his content on other applications. Okay, it's just the way it is. And like I said, time heals all wounds. And it's going to take a lot of time for Joe Budden to get past this. Particularly, I don't think a lot of people are still leaving Joe Budden because how he did Rory and Mal. Okay. And the Olivia Dope accusations are still fresh. And he's going to have to get past that. I'm pretty sure he's got lawsuits pending. I'm pretty sure Rory and Mal has, even though they talked real tough and real nice, talking about you don't sue your friends, they don't believe in that stuff. And I told you on several videos, this is heading to litigations, okay? And at that particular time, people were mad at Joe Budden because Joe Budden said he was going to sue Rory and Mal because they didn't live up to their contract obligations. People are in the comment section. Oh no, he don't care about you. It's all about the business. Who sue their friends? They done put so much work in and this, that, and the third. But when the shoe is on the other foot and Rory and Mal is going to sue, nobody says anything. Okay? Look, I get it. A lot of people don't like Joe Budden. All right. Personally, I don't like Joe Budden. I don't put a lot of interest, or I don't put a lot of time and energy on or emotion on a lot of these influencers, these bloggers, these vloggers, and whatever. Okay. The only reason why I watch your content is because your content is entertaining or somewhat entertaining. But as the individual, I really don't care less about Joe Budden, all right? Don't really care less about Rory and Mal, all right? I know a lot of people are going to take it personal, but I just really don't, okay? Because I can just gravitate and move on to something else. And that goes to the mentality of when you talk about viewers and subscribers, we're fickle and we have no loyalty or no allegiance, okay, to a lot of these content providers. We simply don't. If they don't provide the content that we want or what we need, we move elsewhere, okay? It's no different than when you're at home and you're watching television and you're on one program and that program is boring, all right? What do? You click it to another channel and you continue to click the proper channel that's going to give you the proper entertainment, okay? Because we are fickle, okay? We're not going to just stand patiently waiting for this to get better. If it's not better, we move on, okay? And that's the point I was constantly making on several videos. I don't have a horse in the barn on who I like most, Joe Budden or Rory and Mal, okay? Who am I fighting for, Joe Budden or Rory and Mal, all right? No. And to be fair, all three of them handled this situation terribly wrong, okay? Everyone gets a share in the blame pie. Everyone gets a slice. Rory gets a slice. Mal gets a slice. Joe Budden gets a slice. Okay? Everybody gets a slice in this blame pie. Okay? There are no winners but a bunch of losers. Because at the end of the day, and a lot of people are not going to admit this, but at the end of the day, simply, Rory and Mal are making crazy numbers doing their own thing. how long is that going to really last realistically? Okay. Joe Budden is, he's down right now, but it's going to be a point where he's going to rise above all that. And he's going to be back on his movement again. And he's going to be doing phenomenal things over there. But at the end of the day, these guys could have made more money when they were together, okay? And when they had the Spotify deal, all right? These guys were making crazy tons of money. And if they would have just rolled out the contract Spotify had given them, just ride it out and just roll the dice. And if you continue to doing what you was always doing, Spotify would have had no choice when it comes to renegotiating you guys again, giving you guys a better contract. Okay. Now, Joe Budden says that the reason why he didn't sign with Spotify because Spotify wanted to buy the Joe Budden network. They wanted to own the Joe Budden network. The likenesses, the audio, it was a control situation, okay, of the work that they've been doing. And Joe Budden didn't like that. He wanted to own his own podcast. He wanted to own the likeness, the audio, the name, everything. And Joe Budden was totally against that, okay? And, fine, cool, if that's a cool song, all right? If you believe that, cool. But at the same time, Joe Budden, you should have had another deal that would somewhat replace the deal that you're leaving with Spotify. Okay? And if there were no takers, or if everybody was at the negotiation table giving you the same deal, just like Spotify, then just go ahead and pick your poison, dog. Just pick your poison. Just sign it. And, because I think he was also looking at how Charlamagne the God is doing well when it comes to his podcast and his network. Andrew Soch, how he's doing with the Flaming 2 and he's with his Patreon. He's looking at all his predecessors. Even DJ Academics is doing well, okay? When he left Everyday Struggle, DJ Academics is still getting deals. He's still getting offers. He's doing well, okay? And Joe Budden is sitting at the table not doing so well, all right? And everything happens for a reason, and everything happens in different levels, in different layers. And you just got to deal with the storm right now. But when the storm passes and move on to someone else or someplace else, okay, then you can mark your territory and get back into that bag again, okay? And that's what I'm saying when it comes to Joe Budden, when it comes to his business sense. I just don't think he's very knowledgeable about business or how business work. I really think he knows some things about business, about as well as, who's making the most money, how much of a cut that they're making, this, that, and the third. But, you have to understand, Joe Budden, I know you named yourself a network, but you're not actually a network when you compare yourself to a Complex or to a Spotify. You're not that big yet, okay? You're just not, all right? So, that's all I got for this video. I know a lot of people are going to, I hope everyone listened to this video from start to finish and then comment in the comment section. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to get irritated on something I said in the video, and you're just going to just stop it right there and you're going to comment, okay? And you're going to say, I'm a Joe Budden fan. I'm a Rory and Mal stan. I'm this, I'm that. I just call it like I see it. I've been documenting this stuff since the beginning. And I've been pretty accurate on a lot of the things I have said in a lot of videos considering Joe Budden. All right. So, guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'm up out of here. Deuces.